Hi, my name is Summayyah Sadiq Ojibara. You can call me Miss Summayyah, Auntie Summayyah, or as I often remind you, some people like to call me Sister Summayyah. Here we are again today talking about something that is very important that have to do with our health, our well-being, our ability to do well in our lives and have good relationships with people. Today, we're talking about dealing with stress. It's very likely that in some of the other episodes we've done, we would have touched on this um, to do with stress. But today, what we're doing is to think about stress, as it were, and see how we can experience it in many different ways. So, stress is what we feel when we're doing things, and it makes us sometimes get very anxious and worried and uncomfortable. Often, when we mention stress, it can feel like it's a bad thing. No, actually, stress can keep us safe and it can also encourage us to do things with a lot of motivation. But today, we want to talk about stress that is not good for our body because some stress that comes and goes, that's quite okay. But stress that we experience over and over again can be very unhealthy and can affect us. So, I'm going to put up my slides as we often do, and I'll talk some more about it. So, the thing with stress is it's one of those things that we hear a lot about, but sometimes it's not quite what we think it might be. So that's why today we want to talk about it in a way that really allows us to think about what stress is, how we think of it. So sometimes, we're experiencing things and everyone can see that we're struggling, but we think we're not, you know, and it starts to show on us. Maybe the way we are thinking, the way we are behaving in our dress, it could be a whole lot of things that can show that we are actually stressed. But you wouldn't know at times. So if someone were to ask you, you might say, "Oh, I'm not stressed. I'm not feeling any stress at all. I'm really good and happy and everything," but not really because it's starting to affect you. So there are a few things I'd like us to have a quick run through when we talk about stress. So there are times that we go through things in life. Perhaps you're preparing for exams now that people are going back to school, to work, and just a whole lot of things that can make us worried or we become very uncomfortable. And because of it, we feel stressed, we might feel angry, frustrated, scared. We might get um, just really worried about a whole lot of things. And it might then affect the way we think and it can show on our body. So, for example, thinking a lot about what is going to happen, what has happened, what could happen can start to show in maybe the fact that you're not getting enough sleep. And from that, you may not be able to feel rested and you could have a headache. Even the thinking can give you a headache. Those are all signs of stress. And sometimes some of us, we feel it right in our stomach, you know, we can feel tummy upset. Perhaps we don't have much of an appetite. And when we eat, because some people, the way they deal with stress is that they find themselves eating a lot. And often their body might be craving a lot of sugary things. That can give you a sign that, yes, there's some stress that you're going through. Um, Sometimes, you're doing a lot of things that should make you happy, but you're just not happy. You don't really feel like hanging out with people. That could be that the stress is really getting to you, or you just don't feel rested. You find yourself just sort of rushing around through things, and you are really struggling. So, what are some things that we can use to deal with stress? Um, when I say look at other sides, that is often when we're stressed, our mind is on that thing that is causing us stress. Maybe you're trying to study and you're just not getting it. Or maybe you're trying to express yourself, maybe tell your teacher something or tell your parents something, and you just don't feel like they understand you. So your mind can be focused just like a camera only on that one thing. So one way of dealing with stress is trying to see that there's so many other sides, or at least another side to the issue. And that might make you feel a bit more settled. Learning to relax. So relaxing is like trying to get your heart to be more settled instead of a feeling like it's racing. And you can do that with taking deep breath, with counting to 10. Um, and it can immediately relax you. Exercise is really good. So you can go for walks, you can do jumps, just a whole lot of things that allow you to move your body and let out some of that stress that is sort of sitting in your body. Eating healthily is really good. Like I said, when we're stressed, sometimes we just feel like eating fast food or sugary things because that's what our body is sort of craving. But it's not always a good idea. So it's good to try and eat healthy things, drink a lot of water. That can be very helpful as well. Then sleeping. So sleeping is one thing that can really affect our mood. And, when we don't get enough sleep, it has a way of just really making us not enjoy the day. We get cranky, we're irritable, we don't really feel like dealing with people. We might find ourselves just not in a good mood. And we can have a headache. We might just find ourselves not in a mood to do anything because your body needs sleep. Sleep is what allows your body to um, rest and get more energy for the next day. Then doing things you like. So when you do things you like, it has a way of helping you to stop thinking about some of those things that are really stressing you. It also helps your body to feel good, and that's really important for stress. Being organized is very important. A lot of times we might find ourselves rushing around because we haven't organized our time. But if when we do, it can free us up, to do other things. Um, if you don't organize yourself, you might find yourself doing things at the last minute. And when you're trying to do something at the last minute, it can make you feel really stressed. So, one of the ways to help is to be organized. Learning to say no, that one is really important. Sometimes, because we are good, kind, generous people, we want to help everyone, or we just want to do everything. So, it's good to learn to say no, not just saying no because, I just don't feel like doing it. No, not that type alone. It's really saying no because your body's tired, or you have a lot of things to deal with, and if you do that one more thing, it's really going to put a lot of pressure on you, and that means you have to find a way to say no. Slowing down, again, one of the things that happen to us is that because we're rushing around, it raises our heartbeat, makes our body become unsettled. So learn to slow down, taking a break. Sometimes we might say, oh, I just can't stop now, I have to study, or I have to finish this thing. No, just take a break. That thing is very likely to still wait for you. And that's why even being organized can be very helpful. But there are times things happen and you didn't plan for it. So you just have to find a way to deal with it. So that might mean that you actually um, do something that gives you a little bit of rest in between those things. And even that can make a big difference. Using a stress ball, some of those squishy balls can be really good to use because it helps you to get out some of that feeling of tension in your body. It allows it to go out of your body. So you press it. And even that fidget spinner too can be helpful. Then praying, If you are someone who has a religion or a belief that they follow, and you have a way to worship. So for me, for example, I am Muslim and I pray, and that helps me. That helps me to deal with stress. So being able to think about different ways of dealing with stress can really help you to have a better um, day, and a better time with people. Because if you are stressed all the time, you have frowns, you're not happy, you're not much fun to be with. It's either people are worried about you, or they want to keep away from you because they don't want to get you upset. So they'll just say, oh, I don't want her to yell at me because you're stressed. So stress is good, but too much of it is not good for us and for a long period of time. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. And one of the most important things I want you to think about is that everyone has what is like a threshold of what they can tolerate. Some people, they don't, some things happen to them and they're able to just deal with it and to cope and everything. And some people would struggle in some areas. So it's good for you to know yourself and to know, oh, you know what? When I start feeling this tired, it means I need to take a break. So you have to learn to listen to your body, and you have to learn to notice when you start getting stressed. Because when you're able to notice, that's your body is telling you something. You have to listen. If you don't listen, it might just do something because it's shutting down, just like a machine. When the battery on your phone is going down, you start to see the bar falling. If you don't recharge it, it's going to die off on you and you won't be able to use the phone. That's how our bodies can be at times. So you have to find ways to deal with your stress, but healthy ways, you know, not getting involved with things that can cause you more harm to your body or can affect your life in a way that, if only you had dealt with the stress and with it in a healthy way, it wouldn't have amounted to that. The other thing that is very important, I always encourage us to do, is to talk to someone. Sometimes just talking to someone can help you to just let out some of the things that are clogging up um, your mind, or just really worrying you. That can be very helpful. And if the stress doesn't go away and you're starting to really feel sick, then you do need to go and see the doctor, who might be able to help, or to talk to someone like me who works with people to try and help them um, feel better in their thoughts and their emotions and in their body as well. All right. Well, thank you for joining me again today. Take care now. Bye bye.